Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF, Moreno Valley.
With your Thursday news, I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind. 5 suspects have been arrested in connection to a string of residential burglaries in Highland, including one that was caught on surveillance. 18-year-old Micah Dela Cruz, 18-year-old Abel Escarrega, and 3 juvenile males were booked Tuesday after police received an anonymous tip identifying a possible 16-year-old suspect at a high school in San Bernardino. Police said further investigation led to 4 more suspects seen on surveillance video. Evidence was found at residences in Muscoy and San Bernardino. Loma Linda University Health on Wednesday announcing it has implemented a minimum living wage of $13 per hour with the goal of increasing to $15 over the next few years. All regular employees working at least 20 hours per week saw their raises take effect November 1st. The organization employs 15,000. A memorial wall unveiled at 11 o'clock on Veterans Day leaves no ambiguity about why elected leaders, veterans, and other community members gathered to thank them. 6-foot block letters declared the debt freedom. Filling each of those letters will be plaques to honor individual veterans. 1,776 plaques in all. Granite, landscaping, and plaques have yet to be added to the monument, which they say still requires more funding to reach an estimated total of $100,000. That's your news. Have a great Thursday. I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Ontario, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between the 15 and Vineyard Avenue. Maria Loma is in the 60 west is slow from the 15 to the 57. In Murrieta, stop-and-go traffic on the 15 southbound between the 215 and Rainbow Valley Boulevard. In Ranch Cucamonga, slow traffic on the 210 westbound between Day Creek Boulevard and Carnelian Avenue, exit 57. The 10 west is slow from Day Creek to Carnelian. In Corona, an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 91 westbound after McKinley Street. And finally, in Riverside, an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 215 southbound at Columbia Avenue. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got sunny skies, high near 75. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 47. Sunny and a high near 78 on Friday. Friday night, clear skies, a low near 50. Sunny and 77 on Saturday. Mostly clear Saturday night with a low near 49. Patchy fog in the morning, mostly sunny and a high near 68 on Sunday. Sunday night, a chance of showers, partly cloudy with a low near 50. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 64. Monday night, mostly clear, low near 44. Tuesday, sunny and a high near 71. Tuesday night, mostly clear, low near 47. By Wednesday, we'll have sunny skies and a high near 75. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Good morning, good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Todd Brinker on the line.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
Oh, there you go. There's Todd Brinker. We're on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. It is a crisp, I'm going to say cold Thursday morning. It was actually in the 30s when we're coming into work today.
I think it's going to start snowing later today.
No, it won't.
No,
it's
it
supposed to
won't.
be like 76 degrees today.
But it felt like it could snow. That's just how cold it was.
Yes. It was nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm glad you insisted that I get the seat warmer in my truck.
You're going to say butt warmer,
I was
going
to say butt warmer. Yeah, I love that butt warmer.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you have leather seats, so it can get really cold.
It can.
And that seat warmer really makes a big difference.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's funny, in Southern California, you wouldn't think that was something that would be a major need, but I really appreciate mine on some cold mornings too.
Yeah, I mean, in the 30s, that's crisp. That's, I know that there's some people who pull out their sweaters when it's 65. We're not that family. But, the 30s, 30 degrees cooler, it's time to warm ourselves up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yesterday it was like low to mid 40s, and I had my wool sweater out. I was ready to roll.
That's right. I like that wool sweater. So before we get started, I want to let everybody know, as I always do, all the ways you can listen to KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. You can find us at, of course, 1050 on the AM dial, 106.5 on the FM dial. You can find us also at kcaaradio.com, where you can click to listen online. You can watch our embedded Ustream feed. You can find links to all of our social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can get the number if you have none of the above and you want to call to listen, you can do that at 832-999-1050, 832-999-1050. If you have an Apple device, you can listen on your Apple device using the TuneIn app. If you have an Android device, you can do the same at kcaaexpress.com. So we had a lovely Veterans Day. And Tobin, do you want to talk about the event in Grand Terrace?
Yeah, actually you heard it in the news lead-in. They built these giant letters that spell out the word freedom. And they're not quite done with the complete memorial yet. They are still in the process of making the plaques that will go on there. But you can purchase a plaque if you have a family member who is in the service and have it posted on one of the letters on the wall. And it is it's really, really spectacular. I posted a ton of pictures on my Facebook page. There were so many people that showed up. This thing has been in the works for over 5 years. And they're trying to raise close to $100,000. I think I'm guessing they've probably raised 80 or 90 at this point. They're just down at the last bit. Now what they have to pay for is the plaques and the landscaping that will go around it. But the actual monument itself is now up, and they just put on a beautiful ceremony yesterday. And we had all the dignitaries there. We had our local congressman, Pete Aguilar. We had our assemblywoman, Cheryl Brown. State Senator Connie Leyva, whole bunch of.
Did you have County Supervisor?
County Supervisor James Ramos. We had just a ton of people that were there, dignitaries from all different levels of state and local government. Lots of veterans were there with their families. Just a ton of people put a lot of their hard work into making this happen. The Grand Terrace Lions Club was a big part of making this happen with fundraisers and just individual Lions Club members who put a lot of their own personal money into this. So it was just very inspirational to be there and just see a community come together around the idea of honoring our veterans.
That is awesome. So if you get out to Grand Terrace, go check it out. It's at Pico Park, which is in the west side of the city.
Yes.
Just right off the freeway. You get off at
Barton
Road, and you go
right
east on Michigan.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, south on Michigan. South on Michigan.
And then west on Pico.
So it is time for Todd's Tech Time. Hit it, Brandon. He messed up again?
Oh, no.
From my
Hit it,
heart
Brandon.
and from my
Hit it.
hand.
Hit it.
Why don't people understand my intentions?
My intentions.
People understand my intention.
All right.
There we go. So welcome to this edition of Todd's Tech Time. I spent a lot of time in the past talking about Apple products. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about two new products from the folks at Google. Google has always made a phone of their own, and it's never something that they've pushed real hard because they've got a lot of other manufacturers that make Google or Android phones. But they've always built a phone, and part of the reasoning for that, as they've explained it, was to kind of describe for the market how they see or how they envision the Android devices going. But one of the nice things about their devices is that they provide a pure version of the latest version of Android. In this case, both phones are running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. And unlike a lot of phones that you get with Android on them, a lot of phones have a different skins and a bunch of different apps loaded on. It's like when you buy some Windows PCs and they come loaded up with a whole bunch of shareware and trialware and test things. Well, they do that with a lot of different phones. You get a phone from Galaxy or from Samsung or HTC. Very often they'll modify the software so that the interface works in a way that they want it to. And so it's not really a pure version of Android. And so the Google Nexus phones that were recently released, they released the Nexus 6P and the Nexus 5X. The 6P is a 5.7-inch all-metal phone that's made by Huawei, and it's the first Huawei phone available in the United States.
Yeah, I've never heard of Huawei.
Well, a lot of people haven't. They're actually the number one manufacturer of handsets worldwide. Huawei surpassed Sony Ericsson and Samsung. They are the number one manufacturer in China. They also do a lot of OEM manufacturing for other people. So some phones that you have that you see out there might have actually been built by Huawei for somebody else.
Oh.
And then the Nexus 5X, the smaller of the two, is made by LG, and it's interesting that they both are made by different companies, and they both bring something a little different to the game. They both have a little bit higher resolution, dots per inch, than the latest iPhone 6s. The larger phone is 5.7 inches. The smaller phone is 5.2 inches. So those are kind of on the large side with the one. It's like the 6S Plus for the iPhone, and the other is a little bit larger, maybe a half-inch larger than the regular iPhone 6S. In terms of size in your hand. So they're still not small phones, not like the iPhone 5 was. And I know there's some rumors that Apple may come out with, that smaller phone again for people who have smaller hands. But they're really interesting phones. The 5X is all plastic design, which is unusual.
Is it lighter?
And it is a little bit lighter. It's 4.8 ounces. The Apple iPhone 6s is 5 ounces by comparison, and the larger phone is 6.27 ounces. Now, that's actually kind of a behemoth. It's interesting, too, if you look at the Nexus 6P, along the top in the back, instead of just having like a bump for where the camera is, they basically put a bar that goes all the way across. So there's this like extension at the top of the phone that makes it kind of top heavy and kind of odd looking. Actually, it's kind of a strange thing. They both have 12 megapixel cameras in the front and the back rather. And the front facing camera is 8 megapixel on the larger phone. Smaller phone has 5 megapixel. They both have upgradable memory. They have non-removable batteries, so they've kind of followed along with
Apple?
Apple in terms of going with the non-removable batteries.
So here's my question. The price looks, it's substantially less than an iPhone with a decent bit of memory. It's $458 for the Nexus 5X. Is that you think that price is going to go up? Is that just price to move so people can get used to it, or what do you think?
Oh, I suspect it'll actually go down from there. They usually launch at that price, and then they start discounting fairly quickly in the Android world. They have to be competitive with other phones that are out there, and so they move around on the prices. I think they're going to be very price competitive. And they make a solid phone, and Brandon just shot me a note too, saying that he had a Huawei Prima a while back, and he's actually right. They did have they dipped a toe into the American market, and this is a return for them to the market. They've just never really hit the United States as a primary market for them. It's something that and you could always go online and order it and have it shipped through certain websites if you wanted to get one, because they've made some really nice devices. So I just wanted to clarify that they have been here before in small way, but they've never really made a splash in the market. This is actually kind of a big deal because they're coming in as a Google branded Nexus phone. But yeah, as far as availability and affordability, they are you get them through the Google Play Store, and the prices will remain competitive.
So it is time for a break. We can continue this conversation when we get back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
Here's your Money Minute with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you follow the markets, you've probably been getting seasick lately. But what if I told you that market volatility can be a good thing? If you're a bargain hunter, this is your coupon. So keep your shopping list handy. If you're a long-term investor with plenty of time before retirement, the money going into your 401k each month will buy more shares when the markets are down. And if you have a good financial plan, you can relax while others worry, because that plan will carry you beyond today's headlines. Of course, you should always consider professional guidance before making any financial decisions. That's your Money Minute. I'm Mo Ansari.
For more tips on investing during market volatility and other investment topics, listen to Market Wrap weekdays at 5 p.m. on this station. For a free consultation with Mo Ansari, call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
The City of San Bernardino presents the inaugural Turkey Trot Thanksgiving morning, Thursday, November 26th. Rid yourself of your Thanksgiving pig-out guilt by starting the morning off with a 5K at San Manuel Stadium. Bring the kids for a mini trot at 7:45. There will also be a costume contest, music, and plenty of family fun activities. The cost is $10 per person, and parking is free. For tickets, go to www.eventbrite.com or call 909-726-1477.
We found the problem with your car.
And
Turns out the carburetor differential modulator is out.
what?
And while we were digging around in there, this thing fell off.
Stop. There's no automotive repair nightmares at Diego Martinez's 5-Star Automotive in San Bernardino. 5-Star Automotive, where you'll get a great experience and home of the $15.99 oil change. That's right, just $15.99. They specialize in transmissions, brake repair, AC, and many other repairs, all with a lifetime warranty on parts and labor. Diego knows when your auto needs 5-star attention, it's never convenient. He offers a 12-month interest-free auto repair loan on major auto repairs with no money down. He'll even throw in free towing and a 10% discount for his neighbors in the 909 who work for the city and county of San Bernardino. Call 909-387-0770. That's 387-0770. Your neighbors at 909 West 2nd Street in San Bernardino.
What is San Bernardino going to do with the Carousel Mall? Keep track of the mall development and more local news in the San Bernardino City News. Local sports, education, business, and entertainment news in print and online at sanbernardinocitynews.com.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We got Brandon McCormick in the booth, and I neglected to say good morning to Brandon this morning. Hey, Brandon.
Good morning.
So you were saying something off the air about the Huawei phone that you own. Why don't you tell our listeners what you were talking about?
Okay, so, well, Huawei was essentially kicked out of the U.S. market. They weren't, forced out of it, but the Chinese government came under suspicion for hacking processors in phones so that they could track them, and Huawei was the main suspect in that, and so Huawei was essentially like, well, we don't really make money in the U.S. market, so we're just going to leave. But yeah, I had the Huawei Premia, and it was a pretty good phone, especially because it was like one of those cheap phones from Metro, and it honestly, it was was a good phone. It was nice and snappy for its price, and
Yeah,
I gave it to a
that's-
friend, and he didn't want to give it up, and he had to because Metro switched their network.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they do well. I mean, they make the really nice, high quality, lower end phones, and that's part of the reason they haven't. I was saying they haven't made an impact in the United States. They actually still do sell a few phones that you can get in the United States if you go to their U.S. Website, but they're usually available from some of the pay-as-you-go carriers. So they're not, and they're the sub $200 phones for the most part. But they have some great features. They're well built. They last long. They did get a real knock from the news media. In China, a lot of the corporations have some ties to the government in different ways, and if you're concerned that somebody's listening in, then you might want not to use a phone that is suspect.
Yes. I mean, I get that. I do. I mean,
Mhm.
we actually had a conversation about a particular app yesterday, Todd. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I kind of went off on a rant about the Facebook app. The Facebook app has been accused of sort of runaway battery use on iOS, and they've done a little investigating to find out some of the things that cause that. And when I found out some of the stuff that the programmers at Facebook have done with their app, I've just decided I'm not using Facebook on my phone at all anymore. If I use it, it's going to be on the website through a browser, and when I'm done, I shut down the browser because I can control my browser. The app, they've done a couple things. One of the things that they do is that they play music in the background. And you go, what? No, Facebook plays music in the background? Yeah, it plays music. And you know it can play music when it plays a video. But what it does is it actually plays a silent loop of nothing. And what that does is it means that the app is running in the background. When you shut off the app, even if you go to double-click your button and try to shut the app down, it can be running that silent music in the background to keep itself live and playing so that it can track what's going on, where you are, and what's going on. Because as long as it's on, according to their users agreement, then it can send them information about where you're at, what you're doing. Your user license agreement even allows them to listen using the speaker on the phone. And although I don't have any evidence that they're doing it that I've seen yet anyway, they could also use images from the camera to pick up things that they might be able to then use to market to you. And then the other thing that they do is they use a programming technique that was designed for Apple's newsstand app, which has been removed in iOS 9. So the app doesn't even exist anymore. And what it was it was a content push, and it allowed you to wake up an app that had been put to sleep or actually shut off on a phone in order to update background data on it for like magazines that were in the newsstand. And they use that content push to turn your app back on even if you shut the app off. As long as it's on your phone, they can turn it on remotely, and they can play silent music in the background to keep it awake and alive, and then they can track you. And you have no way of stopping them from doing that. There's no user interface that allows you to shut them off from doing a content push or play silent music. And I don't like that. To me, that's just an unethical programming practice.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I said when I read it. It was like, huh.
If
okay.
I wasn't so addicted to Facebook, I'd probably take it off my phone. But I'm an addict, and I believe that's how you start the recovery, as you have to admit.
Yeah, and let's face it. I mean, what are they doing? They're they're keeping track of where you're at and what you're doing, so that they can then market things back to you and sell that information to people. So I mean, it's not like there's necessarily evil intent here. And if you don't mind yourself being tracked by them, that's fine. But when they do it surreptitiously, whether it's an institution or a government, whether it's a corporation or a government, to me, that's just wrong. And I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, it is.
It's creepy until we start hearing the stories about how Facebook saved X number of kidnapped children because they're running there in the background.
That's right. Facebook was running on their phone, and we knew that little Johnny was in the trunk on the Camaro.
No. All they're going to do is see an uptick in Toys R Us ads because little Johnny was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have to say, I have noticed where I was talking about something and that ad would pop up the next day. And I thought, God, I must have done a search or something. How did that happen? And now that makes sense. And that's happened to me a couple of times where I was talking about something and I don't remember searching for it.
Big Brother is listening.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's one of those things where if you go like, it's not like I have a particularly interesting life, I really don't care. In the long run, it's probably not going to make a big difference to me one way or the other. And in fact, the argument can even be made, and this is how Google makes their money too, is that at least the ads that you see, because otherwise you're still going to see ads. I mean, people have to sell ads in order to keep their content available to you, or either that or charge you money to use it, right?
Right.
Is at least the ads will be targeted towards you, something that you might be interested in. Of course, the frustrating thing for me is I will go to Amazon and buy a sweater, and for the next 4 months, I will see ads popping up all over going, hey, do you want to buy a sweater?
Yes, or even
it's like, no, I already bought that.
The exact sweater you just bought.
Yeah, the one I was looking at. It's like, you think that they could maybe refine that whole process? That's what actually makes me feel better about the whole thing, in the long run. Because if they're not smart enough to shut off the dumb ad when I buy it, how smart are they? I mean, can they really be using that data for anything, ill intended? I mean, they haven't figured that part out, you know?
Dear Facebook, I already bought the boots. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Please leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand. I mean, that does creep you out a little bit. So yeah.
I guess I'm a little on the paranoid side. I sit here looking at my laptop, and I've got a little piece of a Post-it note over the laptop camera. I don't want some app inadvertently turning on the camera when I'm not aware of it. And there's supposed to be a little red light next to the camera, just like on video cameras and stuff. But there's software that allows them to turn on the camera without turning on the red light. So
and they have me first thing in the morning looking absolutely hideous.
Yeah, and it's just people don't if my camera gets turned on, I don't need to show the interior of my house or the backside of my office to anybody.
Yes.
So I mean, I have a healthy little bit of a paranoia there. So I'll be the first one to admit that I'm probably on the spectrum of willing to provide information about myself and not. I'm well into the not side.
Gotcha. But you're not out there making FEMA camp videos, are you?
No. I mean, it's on the to-do list somewhere about 1,012 or something like that, I suppose. But no,
we don't have reptilian overlords, Todd.
Yeah, no subversiveness here.
Whoa.
So, but I mean, I guess you just have to make your decisions about that. It's, that's your choice. I mean,
Todd's a doomsday prepper though, and what he's really trying to do is he doesn't want people to know where his hidden stash of stuff is.
My mini prepper.
You're a mini.
So
Yeah, no.
I have an earthquake kit.
Yeah.
And I put it inside of a backpack so I can pick it up and carry it with me.
Well,
assuming that everything doesn't collapse on my garage.
That's just smart, Todd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't listen to your brother over here.
But you think about these Nexus phones too, as they're coming from a company, Google, who makes all of their money from selling information about you as well. So I mean, if you're worried about that kind of information, I mean that drove Huawei out of the market from being a major player like Samsung in the market. Would you trust a Google phone because it comes from Google?
I don't know. Well,
I don't know. I mean. I have a Motorola phone very specifically because it was at the time it was owned by Google. It was one of the it's about a couple years ago before they sold the Motorola unit to Lenovo, and I got it because it's a pure version of the operating system. I liked it. So guess we got a wrap now.
We do. It's time for a break at 6:30. When we get back, this time of overeating, it is the holidays. We're on the backside of Halloween. We're going to be talking to Dr. Ami Sheth about diabetes, because November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and taking care of your feet, because it's really important. So I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we got Brandon McCormick in the booth. We are on the Brink the Morning Show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5, and we'll be right back.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
California headline news. Police in San Francisco shoot and kill a man who they say was pointing a gun at a hospital. Workers at a construction site adjacent to the hospital reported a man with a gun. Responding officers heard shots as they approached.
Upon arriving, they exited their vehicles, looked up, and atop the construction elevator was a suspect in, it appeared to be white coveralls, holding a rifle.
Police Chief Greg Sears says officers shot the man to death. Earlier in the day, the man had apparently robbed a Big Five sporting goods store in San Bruno. The name of the man not released. FEMA recommending Californians buy flood insurance ahead of the El Nino conditions forecast for winter.
We're going to see warming across some of the ocean waters, which is going to create complex weather patterns that will result in more severe storms.
Mary Sims with FEMA in Oakland says there's a high risk of severe storms, recommending evaluating your risk by visiting ready.gov. Geico weather, dry conditions across the state today, warming up near 80 in Southern California, 60s across the northern region. Jeff Scott, California News.
At Luxor Las Vegas, book your room on Luxor.com and you are guaranteed the lowest rate you can find. Luxor features the best in entertainment and award-winning shows, including Chris Angel Believe, Blue Man Group, Carrot Top, and Fantasy. Public House caters to every taste with 20 draft beers, comfort food, and over 20 screens. Tender Steak and Seafood offers an impressive array of beef favorites, and the Backstage Deli is open 24 hours a day. Book your room on Luxor.com for the lowest rate, guaranteed.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
From the Kcaa Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got sunny skies, high near 75. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 47. Sunny and a high near 78 on Friday. Friday night, clear skies, a low near 50. Sunny and 77 on Saturday. Mostly clear Saturday night with a low near 49. Patchy fog in the morning, mostly sunny and a high near 68 on Sunday. Sunday night, a chance of showers, partly cloudy with a low near 50. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 64. Monday night, mostly clear, low near 44. Tuesday, sunny and a high near 71. Tuesday night, mostly clear, low near 47. By Wednesday, we'll have sunny skies and a high near 75. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
Your application looks great, but I'm not seeing any marketing experience.
The ad said mechanic needed.
Right, but I need a mechanic/marketing wizard. What do you know about reputation management?
Nothing.
Search engine optimization?
Is that under the hood?
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. We can help with any digital marketing solution from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about. Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
The Colton Cement Plant is closed and the rail yard is expanding. Find out what's happening next in the Colton City News. Get more local news, local features, and a great calendar section full of local events for your family. The Colton City News, in print and online at coltoncitynews.com.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that dropping out of high school was my decision. But as a single mom, that decision affected more than just me. To set an example, I had to be the example. I found a free high school diploma program at Learn for Life that fits around my busy life. I have a team of teachers, tutors, and counselors that really care. I learn at my pace in an environment that is safe and comfortable. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. Now joining us, it's the holidays and people tend to overeat and indulge. We've just passed the sugariest holiday in, each year. And now we're heading into Thanksgiving here in a couple of weeks. And so now we welcome to the show Dr. Ami Sheth. She has she's a podiatrist. She's been living in the Bay Area since 1991 after finishing high school in Palo Alto. She attended the University of California at Berkeley. Later, she received her doctorate with honors from the California College of Podiatric Medicine in San Francisco. She spent a year in Washington, where she trained as at Madigan Army Medical Center before returning to California to complete her three-year podiatric surgical residency at Kaiser Foundation Hospital in Vallejo. Her training included childhood ailments, trauma, sports medicine, and surgery. She is most interested in treating children with foot disorders. She has been in practice since 2005 and is a diplomate for the American Board of Podiatric Surgery. So I welcome to the show Dr. Ami Sheth. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. What an introduction. Thanks for having me on.
Just thrilled to have you. Tobin and I, my co-host and husband here, we're just talking about a very good friend of ours just had to have half of his foot amputated because of diabetes. This is very, very serious. So tell people what the diabetic neuropathy is.
Well, unfortunately, over 21 million people in the United States have diabetes, and about 60 to 70% of those will develop something called peripheral neuropathy, or the loss of sensation in their feet. So, for example, when you're walking, if you have something rubbing on your shoe, or if you stepped on something, a piece of glass, anything, you would notice it. But a lot of these people have no idea that something is happening. That first primary protective feature we have on our bodies, which is our skin and our sensations, that's malfunctioning. So they can't quite tell what it is that's occurring, and that can lead to having ulcers and sores, and unfortunately that can also lead to infections and ultimately amputations and things like that.
So, and this happens with diabetes, correct?
Yes, and it happens with other things as well, but diabetes, unfortunately, affects the blood vessels and the nerves. So what ends up happening is that you have this loss of sensation, so you can't quite tell something's happening. Your blood vessels, if you think about it, the pipes, as we get older, get smaller and smaller, and so the smallest blood vessels start to get pinched off, so your blood flow down there isn't as good. And because of that, you end up having your resources down there to fight off any infections or, even just a regular cut, that diminishes. And people with diabetes have an altered immune system, so now whatever's getting down there isn't as effective. So you end up having, one, you don't know you just got injured, and two, when you're trying to heal it, you're not bringing your best forces down there. So things can often really take off in people with diabetes. So you can have a small cut that can get infected very quickly. And the nature of that infection can be very serious. Because, again, it's not just the infection. The infection is having effects on the diabetes and putting an extra load on the heart and all your other systems. So those folks often end up in the hospital more quickly than people without it. I think I was reading somewhere that every 20 seconds somewhere in the world, a limb is lost as a result of diabetes.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty prevalent. It's a big deal. And it's a conversation that I think we need to have. I start having it with people who have risk factors just because the steps to prevent are really easy. Just looking at your feet every day can prevent a lot of problems because you can get help prior to anything becoming a disaster. I'd rather meet a patient in the office and say, oh, you know what, there's a seam in your shoe that's irritating your foot. We need to take care of that, versus meeting you in the hospital saying, wow, why is half your foot looking like that? That's a bad idea. So
I read a story years ago about a person who had leprosy, and that was one of their regular things, was that every morning and multiple times throughout the day they had to do basically that self-examination because they lost the sense of feeling in their feet and their hands, and that was the only way that they would know if they'd injured themselves and to fight the infection if they did.
And it makes sense, right? When people lose one sense, they substitute another one. And in this case, what you need to look at is, well, if you can't feel it, you need to substitute it with something else, like your eyes, for example. The bad part is that a lot of these folks have issues with their eyes as well. Like, those are also very small blood vessels, very small nerves that get affected. So I tell, when people come in as couples, I tell them, you know what, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And so every day I want both of you to check each other's feet. And don't forget in between the toes. And so, it really is something that, if you can find a problem early on, it's much easier, like anything else, to take care of it and to deal with it. I always tell folks, you know what? Make sure you look at your feet every day, in the morning and at night. Make sure they look like you remember them looking. And then, don't walk around barefoot, because you'll pick stuff up. I mean, just the other day, I was walking down my own hallway, and I found a piece of glass. Now, where's that from? We haven't broken anything in this house for like 3 years. So why in the hallway by the bedroom is there a piece of glass? Like, you'll find it. It happens. Things, you'll find them. And unfortunately, people with diabetes, a lot of times I'll see people come in and their foot is swollen and red and painful. And that's a bad sign when somebody who has no sensation has pain. And you look at it and you're like, there's something in there.
Is diabetes really that big of an issue, though, in California? I mean, California's a very healthy state. I mean, we see people, running on the beach and, the healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, my husband is an ultra-marathoner, so you'll have to excuse that question.
You know what? I don't know as far as rates go across California, the actual stats, but as a state, as a population, we are incredibly diverse as far as our activity level and our genetic background, because a lot of folks have more risk factors for the metabolic disease. It's not necessarily like that guy has diabetes because all he does is eat sugar. A lot of it is the way it's processed and how our pancreas reacts to this, like how our bodies react and what how susceptible we are to burning out some of those cells. And I mean, there's so many different nuances within the disease of diabetes, and why some people develop neuropathy and others don't, and why some people, despite almost like a religious control of their diet and what they're taking, they still can't manage it, and then you have to move on to the other steps. So it's more nuanced than that. I've seen athletes come in and they've got diabetes, and we're not talking the juvenile kind of. I'm just discussing is more of like the later onset, the type 2. Yeah. But a lot of the stuff is same for type 1 as well. I will say that, I mean, I'm very lucky. I live in the Bay Area. I have a very educated population. And people get sent to me with a diagnosis, a newly diagnosed diabetes. And to me, that's great, because now we can have these conversations, and they're very informative, but often people are like, this is it, this is the appointment. Yeah, because if we don't do anything as far as like chopping things off, that's a good appointment. So we in this area, in the Bay Area, we get that opportunity to have those conversations. Where I did my residency, unfortunately, we had people that were obese. We had people that didn't know. I mean, a lot of times you have conversations and it almost floors them, like, so I should be looking at my feet every day. It's a simple thing, right? But we don't necessarily do that. We don't, their resources are often poorer, and so they may not be wearing the correct, proper fitting shoe. They may not have just that basic knowledge of what to eat, like eating this piece of bread is going to equal X amount in my blood sugar.
We have to take a quick break, and I'm so sorry to cut you off. This is very interesting. Can you stay with us through the break?
I sure can.
So we are talking with Dr. Ami Sheth. She is a podiatrist, talking to us about neuropathy in our feet, and associated mostly with diabetes, and how important it is to be vigilant about it. And so I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on Kcaa AM 1050 and FM 106.5, and we'll be right back with Dr. Sheth.
KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station for the Inland Empire.
Get your earplugs ready for the next rave at the Orange Show. Find out when in the calendar section of the Grand Terrace City News. You can also catch local education, business, and sports and entertainment news in print and online at grandterracecitynews.com. The Grand Terrace City News, local news you use. The Diocese of San Bernardino wants to invite you to the 14th Annual Bishops Golf Classic, Thursday, December 3rd at PGA West in beautiful La Quinta, California. All proceeds from the tournament, dinner, and auction will benefit Catholic school education in the San Bernardino Diocese. For more information, call your local Catholic school or the San Bernardino Diocesan Office at 909-475-5437. Moreno Valley schools have more vocational education programs for students. Find out more in the Moreno Valley City News. You can also find local business, sports, and entertainment news. The Moreno Valley News in print and online at MorenoValleyCityNews.com.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, or check out the savings and place your order online. VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where Kcaa is located?
Of course, but there's more than just Kcaa here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to Kcaa.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
You've got Todd Brinker. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. Oh my gosh, I'm a little sleepy today. Wake up, wake up. All right, so we continue our conversation with Dr. Amy Shess. She's a podiatrist in the Los Gatos area with an absolutely stellar background, and you should check her out. Before we let her go, we can have her give her social media and website information and all of that. And so we're talking about diabetic neuropathy. And so what are some of the signs that your feet may need medical care?
Well, what I would say now, just reflecting during the break, I'm like, sounds all gloom and doom. It doesn't have to be. I would say that if you, first of all, what's a podiatrist? A podiatrist is a foot and ankle specialist. We're trained in all structures of the foot and ankle and with issues dealing with the foot and ankle. So if anyone has any issues, they should definitely go see a podiatrist. You look for the last, it's a DPM at the end of the name, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine. And what I would recommend is anybody with diabetes, make sure that you do visit a podiatrist to make sure that your risk level is assessed, and they'll have you come back. For my lowest risk folks, I have them come back once a year. For intermediate risk, sometimes it's every 3 months, sometimes it's every 6 months. But that way you get comprehensive care for the issues that you're having. A lot of this stuff is, like we had talked before, is to supplement your other senses with ones that you've lost. So, if you have the neuropathy where, because there's there's a couple of different types, but one type you lose all sensation. In another type, you have almost too much sensation. So you have people feeling like they're walking on needles, or their feet are always on fire, or, sensations that aren't quite there, which makes, a lot of times it makes taking care of your feet very difficult as well. I mean, if you
Can you tell us
like
how to conduct a foot self-exam? I mean, it's not something that they talk about a lot, you know? They talk about breast exams for women during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but they don't have a, foot examination awareness month.
Yeah, and it's actually really simple. You need to look at your feet, check out tops, bottoms, and in between. You look for any blisters, cuts, or sores, or any areas of irritation. So if anything looks red or unusual, you also look to. I tell folks that wear socks that you can look at. So if you take your socks off and there's a spot on there, go looking for where that spot came from. Why is there an open sore? Why is there blood on my sock? The other thing is to make sure you always have shoes on, even in the house, that, if you have some kind of a house slipper with a sole.
Oh, this is California.
With flip-flops.
Well, flip-flops. There's a lot of brands out there that actually protect the toe, because we're always dropping things on our feet. So it doesn't have to be like Sherpa-lined. It can be just anything that has a sole. So if you bump into anything, or if you step on something, it's going through that and not through you. The other thing is to make sure that when you are putting your shoes on, you check the shoes first before you put anything in. We, at least in our area, we have spiders and things like that choose to live in some of our shoes that are outside. Check everything out. Make sure there's nothing in there. And then also making sure that you take care of your toenails, because sometimes people can get some thickening, and just making sure they're kept nice and thin, they're kept trimmed straight across. But I think more importantly for all of this is that if you notice something is amiss, don't do any bathroom surgery. Don't do it on your own.
Right.
Go see your doctor. Go get some help, because sometimes when I see people, I'm like, what did you do here? And look at your feet. They get farther and farther away from you as the years go by.
It's
the
a
angle
poultice.
is all wrong. You can't quite reach them. So trying to do something with the implements you have in your, medicine cabinet, probably not a good idea. So, I mean, those are the things that I would recommend doing, because a lot of times it's that initial step that'll start the whole chain and stop something that that could be potentially damaging.
So how can
when
people?
These infections,
How can people follow you on because we're running out of time for the interview, and
Sure.
This is really very, very interesting, and I'm sure people will want to check out your website. What is your website, and what can people follow you on social media, etc.?
So right now I'm representing the American Podiatric Medical Association, so you can go to www.apma.org. I'm also the president of our California Podiatric Medical Association, so you can go to www.calpma.org. And you know what? I'm awful. I'm really bad on social media. I don't have a Twitter account. But I know it's terrible, right? I can't keep up. But both of those organizations do have Twitter and Instagram and a lot of fun things.
Perfect.
It is Reflect on Your Feet Month for diabetes, so I hope everybody participates. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to folks about it. It's very easy to prevent.
Well, Dr. Sheth, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a treat, very informative. I learned more about my feet today than I have, I think, ever. And so this has been great. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. It's a pleasure. Take care. Have a nice day.
You too. You too. So Stephen Colbert had a very interesting take on a question that's been asked of presidential candidates. Tobin, talk about that a little bit.
So the question actually begins from the New York Times. They did a poll and it says, would you be able to kill baby Hitler if given the chance? And the question spread like wildfire in the Times. They did a reader poll last month. And then it got asked to some of our presidential candidates. The first one I think it got asked to was Jeb Bush, and he gave a resounding hell yeah. He'd go back in time and kill baby Hitler. But then it got asked to
Ben Carson, who is very pro-life.
But in Ben Carson's case, it was asked in a slightly different way. They asked him if he would go back and abort baby Hitler.
Right.
And Ben Carson, of course, says no, that he's pro-life and he wouldn't abort anybody. But the best answer, though, comes from Stephen Colbert. And so
no surprise.
No surprise. He's the host of the Late Show, and so here was his response. Now, I'm not running for president, but here's what I would do with a time machine. I, too, would travel back to the time of baby Hitler. But this is where me and Jeb's time streams start to diverge, because I wouldn't kill young Adolf, Colbert said. I would take him from his parents and raise him with love. I would give Hitler a safe, supportive home. All the while, I would watch him like a hawk. I wouldn't let him join anything where they have to wear a uniform. No Cub Scouts, no Little League, definitely no marching band. Most importantly,
marching.
Most importantly, I would teach baby Hitler that we do not solve our problems with violence. And then, if he starts getting mouthy as a teenager, I'd stick a knife in his ribs and snap off the handle. And if that attack fails and the horror of being stabbed by the person he thinks is his father turns him into a monstrous dictator, it's easily fixable. I'd just go back in time and kill baby me. You're welcome.
Now we have like the Terminator,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, in the best memory of Back to the Future, which we just celebrated an anniversary for, right? You go back and you just change the way things work.
That's right. No,
if only.
This whole thing is such a preposterous, silly thing. And, I think that when Jeb gave his answer with his strong hell yeah, I think he was taking it in the sort of comical way. I think that when it was posed to Ben Carson, it was no longer being posed as a comical question. It was a gotcha question now.
Yes.
And they were trying to sort of see if they could catch him in some sort of hypocrisy on his abortion stance. And, but it's a ridiculous question for politicians. And it should be treated with the kind of humor that Colbert gave it. I mean, let's lighten up,
It's
folks.
absurd.
Yeah. Once again, does this have anything to do with how you might be president? Because, the time machine thing is right around the corner. Well, there is that Area 51 thing, but we don't talk about that.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing. You don't know when a baby is born. I mean, let's what they posed to Ben Carson. There's no way of knowing if that baby, that unborn child, is going to be Hitler or Einstein or Mother Teresa. It's an absolutely ridiculous question.
Well, what if you had someone who postulated that they should go back and kill all the scientists who helped to create the atom bomb?
Yeah.
I mean,
Whatever.
Yeah, it's not that somebody else wouldn't step in and do that. I mean, first of all, it's ludicrous. I mean, it's fun to play with that as far as a science fiction movie or something. But generally speaking, you got to think that, killing somebody is not the solution to somebody who kills.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in this ridiculous hypothetical, he gave the most beautiful answer, and we will close the show with that today. We are completely out of time. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. Got Brandon McCormick in the booth, and we will see you tomorrow.
CNBC News is next, a courtesy of BuySellMakeOffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Applications for unemployment benefits were flat last month, unchanged at 276,000. Claims are hovering at the level associated with a healthy jobs market. And while that's good news for the economy, traders are worried the better jobs market will make it more likely the Fed will raise interest rates next month. FanDuel and DraftKings are pushing back against New York's order to halt bets on the sites in the state. The New York Attorney General says the companies are running illegal gambling operations, but DraftKings calls the cease and desist letters hasty and uninformed and says fans don't need to stop playing. Both sites are continuing to take money from customers in New York. And there's no need to elbow through the crowds at Walmart on Black Friday. The giant retailer is offering most of its doorbuster deals both online and in stores. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
Are you ready to take your diabetes management to the next level? Put the Contour Next meter to the test and challenge your meter. The Contour Next meter makes testing easy and highly accurate with close to lab level results. And Contour Next gives you a second chance, allowing you to reapply to the same strip when the first sample is not enough, saving you time and money. So take the challenge. Go to ContourNextChallenge.com, and now you can find the new Contour Next 35 count test strips only at Walmart.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. Got a lot of red lights out there, folks, and Chino stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between Central Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Grove to Reservoir. The 210 is busy between Mountain Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. East is heavy from La Sierra to Central. The 71 south is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. In Fontana, there's an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 10 westbound before Sierra Avenue. Stop-and-go traffic from Riverside Avenue. This involves two vehicles along the right shoulder. In Riverside, stop-and-go traffic on the 15 northbound between Temescal Canyon Road and Highway 91. In Moreno Valley, stop-and-go traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus Avenue and Martin Luther King Boulevard. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. In Corona, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Hidden Valley Parkway and Harupa Street. The 15 south is busy in pockets between the 210 and the 60. In the Cajon Pass, we have slow traffic on the 15 southbound between Oak Hill Road and Cleghorn Road. And finally, in Murrieta, we have slow traffic on the 15 southbound between the 215 and Rainbow Valley Boulevard. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
With your Thursday news, I'm Jim Miller. CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind. 5 suspects have been arrested in connection to a string of residential burglaries in Highland, including one that was caught on surveillance. 18-year-old Micah Dela Cruz, 18-year-old Abel Escarrega, and 3 juvenile males were booked Tuesday after police received an anonymous tip identifying a possible 16-year-old suspect at a high school in San Bernardino. Police said further investigation led to 4 more suspects seen on surveillance video. Evidence was found at residences in Muscoy and San Bernardino. Loma Linda University Health on Wednesday announcing it has implemented a minimum living wage of $13 per hour with the goal of increasing to $15 over the next few years. All regular employees working at least 20 hours per week saw their raises take effect November 1st. The organization employs 15,000. A memorial wall unveiled at 11 o'clock on Veterans Day leaves no ambiguity about why elected leaders, veterans, and other community members gathered to thank them. 6-foot block letters declared the debt freedom. Filling each of those letters will be plaques to honor individual veterans. 1,776 plaques in all. Granite, landscaping, and plaques have yet to be added to the monument, which they say still requires more funding to reach an estimated total of 100,000. That's your news. Have a great Thursday. I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
18 years. He is a regular contributor to the Fox Business Channel and Bloomberg Radio. In addition to this, he is a regular contributor to TheStreet.com and MarketWatch.com. Now he's live here on the Wall Street Business Network. Here is Bill Gunderson.
And welcome to the Bill. This is Bill Gunderson. It's the Best Stocks Now Radio Hour. 11/12/2015. Well, what's going on today? It's always something, isn't it? I think the Fed is talking today, and they're talking about hiking interest rates at some point in time. You know, I don't know why the market is so worried about this. I think earnings are much more important, how earnings will turn out next year and the year after that. But in the meantime, everybody seems to be glued to the Fed and what they will or won't do at the December meeting. We have the Dow down 180 points this morning. That works out to 1%. We're at 17,521. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is down 15 points at 2,059. That works out to 0.75%. I got to believe the oil stocks are getting clobbered today as oil is getting clobbered. We'll look into that in a minute. The NASDAQ's faring a little bit better than the other two indexes. The NASDAQ is down 29 points. That works out to 0.6%. The NASDAQ is at 5,038. Here's the real bugaboo that I got to believe is also having a big impact on the market today. Crude oil. $41.81, down 2.6%. That's down towards the lower end of its range. I believe there's an inventory problem of oil out there. Supply and demand, too much supply right now. Gold is at 1,086 per ounce. The euro's at 1.07. Interest rates have backed